Hello. Step 3. Here we go. Monochrome marron. In other words, a monochrome watercolor painting in brown. All right, so I've done the back layer, a flat wash, slightly graded over here to give it just a little bit of change it had there. And then I set an edge and faded it, a slight graded wash. And then I dried it. I put these trees in here. And then I started to get a little too overzealous and I put those in before it was completely dry. So what you've missed between step 2 and step 3 here is that I had about a minute, maybe 2, of a hairdryer on medium, low, and just dried my paper a little bit. Now I'm coming back in. I'm gonna work on some more of these medium guys here and see if I can match that value. It's getting a little dark. Maybe I put some over here. Too dark? I blunt. I come back, I soak up a little. Come on, soak it up. There we go. And again, I'm layering trees. So if some are a little darker, some are a little lighter, they change. It's okay. It's okay. I can, I'm using this as my inspiration, but it doesn't mean I have to stick with it absolutely entirely how it is. I'm looking at the placement. I'm looking at getting these things filled in. But I do want these to kind of come together as if they're that layer. So maybe I want a little bit more detail now. I don't know. Let's see. Let's give this guy a little bit. How about that? How about that? There we go. Then there's some more of these medium value trees in here. See, that didn't turn out so good, right? It got a little bit blobby. So maybe I add one in front of him. Again, I'm making triangles. I'm thinking of making triangles here by how I bring these in, and I'm just adding darker and darker layers. Need a little more paint on there. So, and I'm leaving, as I do my triangles, I think I'm making them a little thinner than I think I want them to be so they can sort of expand and become their own. And notice that they're getting more detailed as I get closer. So maybe I let more of the light show through these. I do a little bit of a vertical toward the top because you could see it there, and then I keep my marks a little more horizontal toward the bottom. All right, I think I'm ready for some of these darkers toward the center, these darker trees toward the center. Now this is what gets a little bit confusing here, is because as these come in, I still want to set this edge. So I get those trees in. I want a pretty specific edge there. So I'm going to just dab lightly to make sure that this is, yeah, that seems pretty dry. I'm going to put this in, the top and the bottom of it, and then I'm going to try and get rid of this edge quickly to put that tree in there. So I'm doing, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5th one here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So slightly darker than this. This is my 5th darkest value. And I'm going to draw in the land, leave the light, because that will carve out, and draw these parts in here. All right, here we go. Let's get enough paint mixed in there. Let's see. I'm going to start. Where am I going to start? Just to check it. I'm going to start kind of over here on the corner. It is darker, and I think I can still do another layer darker than that. So here's my land. This comes in. Here's a little, looks like a little hill here. And this comes up to meet these guys. And then off over here. Now, underneath, I need to set this edge also. And that kind of goes here. Looks like I might have wanted to mix a little more of this value, but that's okay. So I come back up to this. This is looking like the same value as that, isn't it? Let's get some more on there. Because this, anytime you have a slightly wet page or as you're using it, it's going to spread out the water and you're going to start to get, it'll fade your value a little bit on you. Now, luckily for me and you, watercolors are fabulous in that they just will they'll want to even out. So I can put this value in. Still looking darker, that's good. That comes down right there. And then kind of fade that. This will get covered up. Let's see. And then over here, I do want this to be pretty consistently all one value. So let's see. I think I want a little more paint on this side to make it more even. I'm less concerned over here because that dark is going to cover this, but I don't want an edge. I like to kind of scrub out my edges a little bit so that I don't see it later. All right, there we go. There's my center. Now let's get some trees on there. Playing with my water. I wanted to see how it kind of spreads and flows. Get a little bit off the brush so that stays really specific because these are right in the center, so I want to be pretty specific with these. I might just do, what if I just put that center in there so I know where it's going to go. Again, I always do a little less than I think I'm going to need with that. And bring it into this value. I can always add more, but it's a lot harder to go back and add less. So here's this guy. Bring him out there. Let's do his little stalk. Oh, I put my finger there. We'll fix that in a minute. There we go. He should be a little taller, huh? The center guy. And then, let's see, here's a smaller one over here. And I can switch it up. I can make him a little different if I want. I'm using this as a reference. There. 3 friends. Oh. Now, while I'm doing this, I gotta get their reflection in here too. So let's put this guy in here. This will be wider. Try to make it pretty similar. Doesn't have to be exact, but pretty similar. Fade this in. Get some more paint here for his little friend in the middle. You definitely need more paint than that. Now it's looking pretty watery and I want to get those edges, so I'm going to tap a little bit on here. Let's see, looks like it's about 2 of these tall. So now this is getting pretty dark. Let's get some out of there. Not quite that dark. He needs to be a little darker, doesn't he? We'll start in the middle and that can spread out. He needs to spread out a little more. And then we need his little buddy over here. I think he needs to be a little taller. And this one here. And then let's make sure we get this value pretty similar. Clean up my little fingerprint over here. There is a tall guy over here, isn't there? That's the same value. So I have this grove of trees, and I want to get the tall guy. Come here, tall guy. Oh, too much water. See how it's all blending and I'm not getting like it's separate? Blot some of that off of there. Little dubbies. Happy little trees. Yep, totally stole that from Bob Ross. They are, though. Trees are happy, aren't they? I feel like they are. All right, this one, is that value? How's that value? Is that a little darker than the one behind it? Maybe a touch more. It'll spread out for me. And then I got these darks up here, so I don't have to worry about the reflection so much on this guy. Looks like he's got a little friend. All right, so we got that one. We got this one. Maybe there's a little friend here that's going to get covered up mostly, so I'm not so careful. Let's blend in this. Seems too bright there. I got this. Oh, there are some over here. So I keep playing. I keep going over here. Get some more of these guys. Oh, too much. Do you see how it's too much? Yeah, too much. Wow, definitely too much. Soak some up there. Just need something for back here behind this guy. See, just have fun with them. It's like therapeutic, the painting. Don't have to worry about if it's perfect or not. It's just trees. Trying to even it a little bit. It will even itself. I just want to get it pretty close. Looks like I need a little more water in here to kind of let that spread out. There we go. I'm going to do one more over here. At this point, feel free to fast forward. All right. There, and that's going to get covered up by the last one there too. So, and then, oh, here, we can do this down here. So this has got darker and then it kind of fades. I don't want to get too close to this. This looks like it could have come with the graded wash a little more there. But, so now, because I'm working light to dark, back to front, remember light to dark wins. So even though this is really in front, I'm going to do this part next. So I'm going to get this wash in here. It's a little darker, and then it's going to fade into this. So I get the darker value in there, and then I want to get some water in my brush right away so I can fade it. It's weird. I think the paper got scraped right there. And I want to fade it, but I also want to keep that like horizontal movement that water would have. Water's always going to have this horizontal feel to it because it sits, it's flat, like the gravity pulling it down. So I'm going to pull this in, maybe a little more color in here. There. Just to give it some variation in there. I don't have quite as much as that, but I think that'll be okay. All right, pause for drying. Ooh, let's fix that. There we go. Okay.